Well, everybody, welcome back once again to the channel. You know, it is JJ with you. You know, I usually would say, first time here, hit the subscribe button. Just do it. I figured I'd leave that out and I'll save it for the end. But let's get to it. Alrighty, everyone. Tonight, we're settling something big. And I mean big. Xbox Next Gen Monster, or Valve's new Steam machine. Two completely different visions for the future of gaming. And only one of them is getting your money. So tell me right now which side you are on. Question mark. That's a question. Let me know in the live chat what side you're on. I can tell you my opinion, but I want to see which one of you guys think that either Microsoft or Valve is going to win. But we got to think about the specs too. You know, Microsoft is going to go all out on the specs, and so is Valve. But the way it looks like with Valve, you know, it's kind of a lucrative system. But with Microsoft, it's not so lucrative. If they're going to put the money out and get it done right, they're going to do it to get it done right. But truthfully, sometimes they can't even get their operating system right. So make sure you got your drink and snacks, by the way. I got mine right here. Again, caffeine-free ice, zero sugar. Got to do the zero sugar thing. So let's think about it. What the 2026 Xbox is actually offering under the hood. So what do you guys think they're offering? So I'm going to see what you guys say first. It's going, I'm almost maxed out. No, waiting for the expedition. Oh, you talk about your game. Sony won the console war. Yeah, but that's console. Here's what I've been hearing. That Microsoft is going to take and make their Xbox like Steam is on their Steam machine, to where it's going to have like a separate operating system and go the whole 900 yards. That's what I heard, that Xbox is going to be turned into a gaming PC. If they do it, it will be different. It will be different. But you have to look at it this way. If they do the Xbox like they do the Steam machine, and it has its total operating system, which is going to be Microsoft operating system, what if they put 24 gigabytes of system RAM shared with the CPU? What if they share it? What does Valve have to offer? So Microsoft is going to be using a binned out chip that's going to be in the higher end part, depending on what they're going to use for that, which is unknown. But AMD's working on it. Just like with Steam, they're working on Microsoft. So who knows what they're going to put out? Who knows what they're going to put out? I mean, are they actually going to put out something that's a higher end chip and it's going to have better graphics and it's going to have more memory allocation? So Microsoft is in a good position right now, because if they do like a desktop PC in like what do you call it? One of them small form factors that goes right in front of your TV and you sit on the couch. What if it comes with a wireless keyboard and mouse to where you can surf the internet, play your games and everything else right from your couch? Is that what Microsoft's going to be doing? Is that where we're going? That's a good question. Now, let's shift the focus over there on Steam. Okay. We don't have much data on Microsoft, but as the data rolls in, I'm going to keep you guys updated on what I find out. So, but from what I've heard, that it's going to be swinging this way. It might, or they just might kill it. I hope they do try to run into competition with Valve. It'd be a good competition to see who builds the best PC, gaming PC. I mean, they could ask Dell, or they can ask HP, or Lenovo, or Acer, or one of those big, big box manufacturers. You don't know. So let's have a gander and see what I find on Steam. Okay. This is what WCCF Tech is saying on Steam Machine. Price may have just leaked via a, Russian retailer. $950 USD for 512 gigabytes model. $1,070 USD for 2 terabyte update. And that's the box. So you tell me what's going to be better. And I know you guys like Sony, but Sony's not in it for that kind of consistency. They're just making a console. I mean, they could add features into the console to make it to where you can surf the internet and stuff like that. But it'll be limited, be very limited, because they use their own OS. Let me crack one of these open. Actually, no. Let me crack one of this open. So, yeah. Which one am I choosing? Be honest with you, if it comes down to soup comes to nuts, let's say if Microsoft comes out with a 2 terabyte system and says to everybody, guess what? We're going to throw 32 gigs of RAM in there. We're going to throw a top tier CPU, and we're going to throw a GPU in there and make it an all-in-one PC for you to play Xbox games, as well as you can play Steam games and some PlayStation games and some other games from other sites. And they tell you it's less than $800. Guess what?
That was funny. This 32 gigabytes of RAM set?
Yeah.
For less than 800?
Yes.
No, that ain't happening.
It will happen. Remember, Microsoft buys by bulk.
Well, I understand, but they're not going to put those savings over to us. There's no way. It's Microsoft.
I know, bro. I know. But there could be a company has a heart. But I'm just saying, this is just being hypothetical.
Well, of course, yes, and I'm being facetious. So
yeah, this is just in a hypothetical.
Yeah, in a world where companies do the right thing to the consumers, yeah, I agree.
But by putting
we
this,
that world.
but by me putting it out and saying it like this, they'll get the idea. Maybe they'll watch my channel. Maybe they'll say, hey, I watched your channel and you have a really good idea. You have a really good flow. I mean, understand this, Machine.
Okay.
If we don't say it, they're not going to do it. Okay? They're not going to think it up. That's the reason why reviewers put their ideas out there, is so that way these companies can grab hold of that idea and run with it. They would make a hell of a lot more money, believe it or not.
They would sell a lot of systems
if they priced it just right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, you get a Steam box here and they're saying $950 for 512 gigs and then $1,000 for 2 terabytes. As cheap as the system's going to be with 8 gigabytes of VRAM, right? And 16 gigabytes of system RAM. Okay, you tell me. I mean, for that price?
Does it have 16 for the Steam machine?
Yes.
So it has eight dedicated to the graphics, right?
Right.
Okay.
And it's got 8 dedicated to the CPU.
What if it runs out of the VRAM? It'll go to the system RAM, correct?
Yes. But it will be just like a regular PC. It will be just like a regular PC. Hey, Mr. Dakota, they are quoting, this is not my information. I'm just reading what I caught on just earlier today, was that they said that in a Russian retailer is quoting 950 USD for 512 gigabyte model and 1,000 for 2 terabyte model update. So if they're doing this on an update, this has got to be like recent kind of update. So, I mean, I think they got the date wrong too.
What's it say?
It says the 9th month, first day, 2026. Update 9/1/2026. Well, no, because that's wrong date. But I did see something on Twitter about this, Twitter X. I did see them talking about it too. So, I mean,
we only got one more month in this quarter, so
yeah, it's going to be coming out.
Yeah, unless they decide to extend it out, which is a possibility.
I guess they got the source code for this Steam machine.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
To see what it can do. I know that people are going to put it through the paces for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what they're quoting.
Can you hook up a keyboard and mouse to that system?
Unsure.
You can?
Probably if it's a regular PC, you should be able to. Should be able to.
So you could use it as like a mini PC?
Yes, basically.
That would work fine for that purpose.
But
like a gaming system. Like I can go over to somebody's house and just take my Steam box with me and just go play games with my buddies.
but here's the thing, and I want you guys to quote me on this if I'm right or wrong about this. Okay. Oh my God, man. If you use it as a PC, what happens with all the lag of using it on the internet? What about that? How are they going to put securities in here? Some people are going to be wondering how they're going to be able to secure their games. No one's ever mentioned that.
When it comes to that, they talked about it in a dev update.
Yeah, I didn't really catch into it.
I'll see if I can find it and send it over to you.
Okay. Yeah, because I really didn't catch into it because there wasn't much chatter.
The Bluetooth, how it works. It's going to have its own like internet controller on the system itself, so that way the controllers are going to be run by Bluetooth or something. Like it's going to be fine tuned for less lag. But I gotta look it up.
Yeah, but here's the problem. That story about a couple months back that people that were running on Wi-Fi with their keyboard and mouse and stuff, that people were standing out front of their house hacking into their keyboard and mouse. Yeah, all they need is the frequency, and they can find out the frequency very easily. They got, see, you got your corrupted, Google Chrome store that you can find all that crap in, and basically you can download the program onto your phone and sit there and hack it. And then, after you get the coding and all that, you can turn around, put it on your PC, come back again with your PC and just sit there and play with your mouse going do, 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 do. Guess what? It could be your next door neighbor and you wouldn't even know it. So doing the wireless thing is not for me. I can tell you that much.
I don't even know if there's some possibility of being wired in.
Well, if they have USB ports, they have to have wired because it builds into the OS.
Be charged through the USB ports, like the PS5 controllers do that.
Yeah, but
they're just charged, and you just plug them in and play while they're charged, so they're wireless all the time.
Yeah, but some of your controllers just plug in directly. Maybe they disconnected the data wires. They just made it for charging only, and just disconnected the data wires.
But I'm not sure if they make PS5 controllers that are wired to plug in. Usually, you got to have a separate cord that's a USB-C, I think, that'll plug into that.
I thought PS4
they come wired like the PS4 controllers did.
I thought PS4 and PS5 were interchangeable.
I'm not sure. It's a good question. I'm not aware.
If they're interchangeable, then they can use the controllers, the wired controllers.
True. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that could be true.
Yeah.
Then you could just use PS4 controllers.
Yeah, I heard somebody say something about that. That was a long while back. Who knows? I could be wrong. I could be right.
I can't imagine it not coming with a controller.
I'm so used to even if I got a controller, man, and I put it on my PC right here. I'm so used to playing, like I'm used to an Xbox controller.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way it feels.
You can use Xbox controllers on that. You can use PlayStation controllers on your PC. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I was talking about Xbox, the first Xbox.
Yeah.
That you can't, because it come with the special plug.
Okay.
For the controllers.
Hmm.
Yeah, it come with the special. They put a special plug on there so you couldn't use it with the PC. Maybe Xbox One they might have changed it, but I know the original Xbox they did.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Oh yeah. So, but this is the Jimmy. I mean, come on, guys. You tell me which is going to be better, the Xbox or the Steam machine.
The Xbox is going to be better.
I thought you said the Steam machine was going to be better.
No. Value for the money, I think the Steam machine is going to be better.
Value for the money for $1,000 for 2 terabytes, and they're running They're running at what Gen 5 or no? They're running Zen 5.
Series. So Gen
No,
3?
no, Zen. It would be no
Zen 3.
Zen 4. Zen 3 is AM4.
Oh yeah, okay. That's right. It's different.
Right.
Which one ahead? So
Zen 3 is AM4.
Yep. So you're pretty much getting a low-powered 7600 and a low-powered 6-core.
Yeah, you're getting a low power. You're getting a low power 7600 and a low power 7600.
Yeah, CPU and GPU together. But it all depends on how they can make it work on the Linux system.
Well, those two can work just fine.
I mean, maybe they can optimize it in a way to where it runs games better than a system that's built that's similar to that.
Well, I don't know. They said 28 compute units compared to the 7600 with 32.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
See, that's where the balance comes in, and you're sitting there working with that balance. Is taking that little bit off, shaving that little bit off, getting 28 CUs compared to 32 CUs. That's going to shave a little bit of FPS off too.
Yeah.
Now, with Xbox, on the other hand, if they're just going to give you a full 32 compute units.
So the trick is going to be how they're going to upscale it. You can't use FSR4 on that RDNA. And if you use FSR3, it's going to look like garbage.
Yeah, but they said they're going to use FSR4, did they not?
I don't know.
I think I seen somewhere they were saying they were going to use FSR4.
That'll make a big difference. So they're probably going to do what Xbox and PlayStation does, is just run everything at performance level to get the maximum they can get out of it.
You know what I have a feeling? They're going to run FSR. They're going to run RDNA4 INT8.
And they'll probably run like fluid motion frames that'll run off the hardware.
Well, that's automatic. That comes into it.
Yep.
So think about it. If you're going to give you FSR4 INT8, that could be the reason why AMD is kind of holding back on the 7000 series to give us the full INT8. Is because they're going to save it for Steam and use that kind of FSR4 to run with their compute units. Does that make sense?
We could have a contract for that.
They could.
Yeah, you could have a contract saying we're going to, same with the PlayStation 6 and all that, and the next Xbox, they'll probably run the same type of upscaling, and then they have a contracted in that they can only use that so the consoles have a one-up on that generation.
Yeah, but AMD could have leaked that on purpose.
It's true. So that way people have an option. It's true. 100%.
So they can test it. So they can get the response. Because the reviewers would have got their hands on it, which they did, and they gave a good response. They said it was pretty good. Yep. So, and that puts AMD in a good position with Steam and their Steam box, because they can always put FSR4 INT8 on that, integrated into the software. That would make sense. Because remember, I took a piece of that, that software that code, and I put it on, and I played FSR 4 on Cyberpunk with the 7600. It didn't do that bad, and it was on Linux too. Machine. It was on Linux that I ran the FSR 4 INT8. I ran it on Windows and I ran it on Linux. And truthfully, I mean, I was staying around 70 to 80 FPS. I mean, if they're going to use 1080p, which they're going to use 1080p anyway, but that was at 1080p. Now, I can't give you any more than that because I only had 1080p monitor at the time. Now I got a 4K monitor. I can do the same test over again. That just means I got to crank up my system and rebuild it again because I disassembled it. I need to stop doing that. I need to keep them assembled. You know? I'm just in the fear of them collecting dust, I guess. Who knows? But like I said, INT8 will work on Windows and it will work on Linux. It's how you put things together that matters.
It says, yes, the Steam machine will support AMD FSR 4 technology.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I'm thinking they're doing. They're going to do INT8. So if that's the case, then that explains why AMD never released it to the public, period. Is because they wanted to keep that exclusive. Well, they released it, but they did that as a teaser. But what if they're going to keep it exclusive to Valve in the Steam machine? What then? So Microsoft's going to have to come up with a better vision of how to look at Xbox.
So it said powered by a custom AMD RX 7600M GPU with RDNA 3 architecture and FSR 4 with 24 gigabytes of RAM and optimized Steam OS.
Yeah, so that's shared.
That's a lot of shared.
But they're only going to dedicate 8 gigabytes of it to the integrated graphics. See, now let me make you understand this. Okay, with me running the 5600G and running 32 gigabytes, I was only able to get 8 gigabytes of shared memory with the integrated graphics. But running 64 gigs of system RAM, I was able to get 16 gigs of shared RAM with the integrated graphics. 16 gigabytes with the 5600G. How sick is that?
Mm-hmm. So the APU is optimized for 60 hertz gaming.
Yeah, it's 1080p 60 hertz.
The Steam machine can even achieve 120 hertz performance level. So it's going to be 60 hertz for quality and then 120 hertz for performance. So you're going to get less visual but higher FPS.
But you're still going to have the same amount of RAM.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So it's going to be a little bit less. What they're saying is a little bit less than PlayStation 5. It might not match the PlayStation 5 capabilities in heavy asset, graphically demanding games.
Oh, you know what we forgot to do, Machine? We forgot to tell everybody Machine is on the phone. Say hi, Mr. Machine, to everybody in the world.
I think everybody knows.
Well, I'm just saying I forgot to do that. My bad.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, blah, 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 blah. I had to do that. Anyway. So I forgot to do that. My bad. My apologies to everybody about that. So.
Okay. Sure, I'll be.
Oh, yeah, okay. So let's look at the brighter picture of this. If you took an 8700G, right, and you slapped that with 64 gigs of RAM, right, and you do 16 gigs shared memory, right, and you go to play these games with that shared memory, is it going to be fast enough? Is the integrated graphics going to be fast enough?
No.
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 It's going to be like a dinosaur. See, because the speed of the RAM is the key factor at that point. That means you're going to have to be running that at 9,000 microtransfers. 9,000 microtransfers with the lowest CL rating you can find. And you're going to have to be running that at 128 gigabytes. And you're going to have to be running, what was it, 264 gig sticks? Actually, no. You can do it. You can do that with one single stick at 128 gigabytes and run it at its max speed and just hope it don't crash. I know a friend of mine did that. He turned around, he got 128 gigabyte stick. He put it at 9,000 microtransfers at the lowest CL rating he could find. And he says for the operation, it's better not for multi-core. For single core games, that runs pretty good. Multi-core games, it doesn't run so well. So, I got my answer. So, but with my DDR4 system at 64 gigs of system RAM and whatever graphics card I throw in there, because it's an X series processor, it's got 32 gigabytes of L cache. Or 32 megabytes of L cache, not gigabytes. I really wish it was gigabyte though. 32 gigs of L cache. That would be nice. They haven't even broke 500 megabytes yet. So they'll be like they're scratching the surface for 130 megabytes. Ugh. But guys, have you noticed the stream drop anytime soon, like last time?
No.
I didn't either. I got 0 frames. It says 0 frames dropped. I'm running it at 12,000 kilobits per second. That's why. And it's sticking right to the 12 kilobits per second. Nice. AV1 encoding. The Steam machine won't even be faster than an Xbox Series X, while the new Xbox PC will be around an RX 970 non-XT. So, Mr. Fake Frames, let me ask you this question. Do you think this Valve system is going to break 9000 series graphics? Even though they're giving it FSR 4 on a 7000 series graphics. You let me know. Because I don't think it's going to break 9,000 series speeds. Not at 28 CUs that they're claiming. And I really think that Microsoft, if they come out of the box and do something like Steam did and make it full tilt and give it even 4080 speeds, NVIDIA's 4080 speeds, and they just balls out, bust out with something that nobody ever thought they would have done. But here's the kicker. What if they make it below the margins of what Valve is going to be selling the Steam box for? Let's say hypothetically they sell the Steam box for $1,000 with 2 terabytes hard drive space. What if Microsoft says, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come out with 4 terabytes and we're going to come out with more speed, more RAM, and everything else for the same price. Everybody's going to lose their minds. And then now the pendulum is starting to weigh towards the Xbox. That's if Microsoft pulls that off. Where Microsoft does one up on Valve and just pushes it a little higher than Valve, they can take that market. So, Steam Machine is 28 CUs of RDNA 3. Won't have an official FSR support for support. Yeah, but they can do it with the INT8.
They're saying it will.
There, Mr. Machine said they said it will have FSR 4.
I looked at 3 different reports, and it said that they will have FSR 4. It might be an 8 version of it, most likely, but it is FSR 4. It is going to be it's going to be done in the Linux system. I forget what they use, but they've already put it in the updates for that Linux system they're using.
Yeah, but if they're going to use a mobile chip, Mr. Fake Frames is right. It's only gonna bust around the 6600 because it doesn't have the horsepower of a desktop.
Right.
So yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It takes time.
We'll see when the actual reviews come out.
Yeah. Well, I understand INT8 is just a mod, but what if Microsoft, or not Microsoft, what if AMD decides to take that mod and makes it full blown just for Steam, the Steam box? What then? That's kind of like a big kick in the teeth to the people that have been screaming at, AMD about putting out a driver update that has INT8 in it for the 7000 series. That would be a big kick in the teeth if they did that.
Unless they're contracted in, as Steam said, hey, we'll buy all these chips from you, but you can't release. We are the only ones allowed to have them.
Yeah.
On RDNA3. Of course, they would never release that because if people found out that AMD held it just for Steam, they'd be pissed off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they'll definitely be pissed off. I would be pissed off, too. Sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. Are they going to come out for something in the 7000 series? I mean, I have a 7600 in my machine right now. I am live streaming to you guys on. Believe it or not. Here's my 4070. It's still not in my computer. So, I've been making videos and everything else on the 7600. You can believe that? For real. I've been rocking the 7600 ever since I told you guys. Did that first initial test. I've been rocking it since then. I've been playing my games too. I don't get it.
That's probably what I was reading is the mod for Proton. Forces FSR 4.
Yeah, but they can always convert it into a driver update.
True. So you would just do it on the mobile chips?
Yeah. I don't see why not. You can do it for laptops and stuff. Give laptops a little push.
Yeah, it would help laptops out a lot.
Yeah, it would. There are already mods on Linux with Proton to use global settings to force the FSR4 mod to run when you launch a game.
Yeah, that's probably what they're talking about.
Yeah. So if the mods are there, but what if, well, there is no what if. I mean, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. If Valve's going to do it, they're going to do it. If they got the mods out there, then the mods are out there. They can always buy the rights of the mod and turn around. Well, it's open source too. They can't buy the rights of the mod because it's open source. But they can use the open source for their own personal, to put in there. They can put the link of it, and set something up to where people can, get the mod. So. Either way you look at it, it's going to get it. FSR4 INT8 is going to be available on the Steam machine with no problem. Because I've already tested INT8 on my little throw together PC and it worked just fine.
So the Xbox is going to be using the current gen RDNA, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to have FSR4 automatically, the better FSR4.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So it's all going to depend on pricing.
It's all depending on pricing.
But the way things are going right now, I just don't see, like, for the amount of hardware that the Xbox is going to have, and it will be better than the Steam box.
Yeah, because you got to think about the plus and minuses. Okay, the plus and minuses are this. Okay, if they make Xbox just like the Steam box, to where it's open to the internet, hopefully that Microsoft puts securities in there, which they can. Microsoft can add anything they want to the OS of Xbox. Steam, on the other hand, they don't have the luxury of having all that. They just have what? They don't use antiviruses and everything else because they have encryption. That's all they use is the encryption. And when the encryption is broken on your PC, then you're wide open to the internet. So, but with Microsoft, on the other hand, it's constantly running in the background, checking security all the time to keep your system less vulnerable. So I don't know how they're going to do this Steam box. I really don't. How they're going to be able to shore it up to where that it's encrypted so good that it's not going to get hacked. Because once it gets, people are going to be out there trying to hack it. They're going to be throwing something out there, a 0-day whatever. So And believe it or not, Linux has been hacked before. So there's a lot cooking that's going to be coming in the future forefront there, gentlemen and ladies. So I want you guys to really think about it before you decide to weigh in on which one you're going to want to purchase in the future. I tell you specifically, wait until the information fully comes out. Wait, I'm going to be waiting and watching Microsoft and Xbox. And I'm going to be watching Valve and the Steam machine. Soon as we get closer to the launch dates, to actually see what they got cooking. If it's going to be of value or not. Now, you know, a bunch of people are going to be running for the Steam machine, but not at $900 to $1,000. Why would you do that? You can get pre-built systems better on the market for less price. Am I wrong, machine?
With the price of RAM right now, I don't know.
Look out there again at prices of pre-builts. You'll still see that you can get 16 gigabyte. You can get a $700 system that runs better than that Steam box. Truthfully. And also, too, there's going to be a shift in the market sooner or later, because now China is going to try to step into the market for the VRAM and the system RAM, because they do build in-house system RAM and VRAM. They put it all together. They do have companies in there that are just waiting to get into the market over here. And the companies that are hard up right now, like MSI, Gigabyte, Asus, and ASRock, they're going to be looking to get into that China game when it comes to the system RAM and when it comes to the VRAM chips. So you never know how that's going to swing. So if you want a good Steam machine, just get yourself a 9070 XT and a Micro Center combo deal for your CPU and RAM. There you go. Repurpose your old case. Repurpose your 850 watt power supply, which would prefer 1,000 watt power supply, really. Repurpose all that and just slap yourself a system. See this right here? This one right here? This one right here will run faster than the Steam machine. This Dell system will run faster than the Steam machine. It's not what it looks like on the outside that matters. It's what's in the inside of this Dell that matters. You actually think I'm going to leave a Dell system alone like that? Are you kidding me? Look what I did with my E-machine. That's a sleeper build. I tore the insides out of that and I put in a different build. That one right there is definitely going to be faster than the Steam machine. I can get me a cheaped out B550 motherboard and get me a 5800 XT for a good price. And I could slap 64 gigs of RAM in there. And you know what? I could throw a 7800 XT in there. And it's still going to be faster than the Steam machine. So, either way you look at it, you have options. And that motherboard combo will be good if you do get it from Micro Center. I got a motherboard combo from Micro Center. My friend over there is still using it, still rocking it with the 7800 XT, a 5600 X3D, exclusive to Micro Center, with 32 gigs of RAM, 3400 CL16, modifications by me, of course, because my 5700X does 3400 megahertz CL16. So, again, a little bit of a modification I made, but it's still rocking. That PC might be sitting over there, waiting for me to put it back over here, but I'll tell you what, it's still rocking. I put in the RX 5500 in there, and that's a 4 gigabyte card. And the other day I was sitting there playing, what was it? Don't Shoot Me. I was playing Hogwarts Legacy. Is it a little tough to run on it? Yeah, but after a little bit of display modifications, I was able to get it to run. After doing a little bit of modifying and everything else, I can tell you I pushed it all the way up to about 40 FPS. But that's a 4 gig card that's back from the ancients. Could I get a GTX 1650 to run the same way? Probably. That's a 4 gig card. Last time I ran that on Steam with Linux, I was getting 60 FPS. It ran fine. No hesitation, no nothing. See, those 4 and 8 gigabyte cards, you can run them on Steam all day. A little bit of modification, they'll run great. So you can build yourself a dinosaur system and play it on Linux. So you don't need to spend oodles of money to build a gaming system. You put a little bit of talent behind it and a little bit of software know-how and a little bit of hardware know-how, and you can put yourself a monster system just out of older parts. This started off with DDR3. This still has DDR3 in it. But I'm changing this up to Linux with DDR3. And I'm going to plug in the GTX 1650. And I want to see if this ancient old system will handle just like the 7600 did. We'll find out. Sooner or later, we'll get it there. So, people with older systems, don't throw them out. You make the biggest mistake of throwing money out the door. Don't throw your money out the door. Repurpose it. When you throw these in the trash, they wind up on a boat going back to China. And then if China can't use any of the parts, what they do is they strip the chips out of it and shave down the chips back into minerals. And guess what? It starts the whole repurpose cycle again. China just doesn't mine the minerals. They mine them off the boat of your old PC parts. This has been one circle jerk that's been going on for many years. So if you got older PC parts, you better hold on to them. Because you can always go on Linux I mean, they got different distros for Linux. I like the distro that I put on flash drive for the last system that I had, and it worked really well. If you got an SSD on an old DDR3 motherboard, you can get it to work. Just takes a good solid state drive that you can plug into the SATA port. Doesn't matter if it's going to be 550 or 600 megs on the read and 250 on the write, because still it's something that's better than nothing. And if you got nothing, you can't afford nothing, and you got something, then you make the best of something out of nothing. If that makes sense to you all, is the best way to make a gaming PC is to make the best of nothing into something. So I know some of you guys out there love high end. Okay. I never looked at my channel to be a high end channel. I looked at my channel being conservative towards the lower end products, the mid range to lower end, because I know if it's hard for me to afford those high end GPUs and high end CPUs and all that, what do you think about the 60% that's out there in the world that can't afford the same thing? They're in the same boat as me. I'm a consumer as well as a reviewer. And I know my job is to review high-end parts and everything else. Don't get me wrong. I know that. I know that's going to come about too. But in time, I will. It's just now ain't the time. I don't see these companies jumping into my pocket and saying, you know what? We're going to hook you up today. So one of these days, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe it'll happen. I don't consider a 5070 Ti or a 4080 to be high end. They are upper mid-range GPUs. Yeah, they are. But when you got people that is looking at a 5060, a 5060 Ti, and maybe a 5070 kind of thing, that's mid to lower range. That's really where they want to be. Even though we can scream to the moon that those GPUs are not the best in the world, but to them and the way they play their game, it's going to be the best that they ever had. See, a 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte is not a bad card. A 5060 Ti 8 gigabyte is not a bad card. The 9060 XT 16 gigabyte is not a bad card. The 9060 XT 8 gigabyte is not a bad card. They're all good cards. They're mid to lower end. But they're, at the time they were affordable, they're getting to the point to where they're unattainable. So until they bring the market back to where it needs to be, it's going to be high priced. They need to bring the market back down between the 250 and the 300 range. No, they're getting up to the $400 to $500 range. They're pushing it more to the mid-tier range. They want entry-level, lower-end GPUs to push up into the $400 to $600 range. And they want to take the mid-range and push it between $700 and $900. And they're doing it. Even if we don't like it, they're doing it. They're doing it right in front of our eyes. But we're so blinded by the fact of, you know, the the utmost performance, but we well forget one thing. One thing we forgot: price to performance. When is actually you really heard, and maybe one or two reviewers still do it. When have you ever heard a majority of the reviewers talking about price to performance? They're not, because they're saying the MSRP is out the window. That the companies are not believing in it anymore. So if that's the case, that means there is no ceiling limit for these companies at this point. That means the new GPUs that come out, they can price the low end in a mid-tier bracket and say that's the MSRP now. And guess what? We're all buying low end GPUs in a mid-tier range. Does that make sense, Machine?
Well, I mean, it depends on the person. Like if you've been using a 1060 for years and then you get a 9060 XP 16 gigabyte, you're going to think that that's high end.
Yeah.
So I mean, it all depends. You know, of course, it's not high end technically.
No, it's not.
But it all depends on how you use it. So, and a lot of people can't afford anything past the 5070, really.
Yeah.
Some people can't afford that.
Yeah. Low end will be at mid range, and mid range will be at high end, and high end will be at super end, where it's untainable. The high end market is going to be to such a high price, it's going to be unattainable. We all have to get to that page, and we all have to admit this is happening right now in front of our eyes, and stop being so blinded to the fact. Everybody's blinded to the fact. As soon as they start raising RAM prices, boom, there goes everything else. I know we said many of times they're going to trickle it up slowly. They didn't trickle it up slowly. They pushed it fast. They did that for a reason. They pushed the high-end market up even higher. Right now, you might be able to get some of the older stuff for a cheaper price, but that's for now. Wait for another 6 months. They're not done. They've already said they're not done. In 6 months' time, they could jack that price so high that it's unattainable. So, mid-range is 256-bit with low range being 128-bit and 192-bit bus. Yeah, that's a low range, but not anymore. They're going to push that into the mid-range. There's going to be no more low end sooner or later. We have to accept that. There's going to be no low end. These companies are tired of losing money. They've already stated that a couple times. They're tired of losing money. So now they want a piece of the pie. Hey, I don't own the companies. I just go by what I'm listening to and what I hear and who's talking about it and how many people are talking about it and how many different organizations are talking about it. And it all boils down to one thing. It's going to happen. And it's already happening now in front of our eyes. We have to accept that. When it comes to the prices of the Xbox and the Steam machine, it's going to be low end parts with high end prices. Am I wrong, machine, or am I just talking out my ass?
$1,000 for that system, for the Steam machine system seems expensive, but what choice do you have?
Not to buy it.
Well, if you want a game, then what do you do?
Yeah, but
If you don't know how to build a PC, what are you going to do?
well, if the consoles go up to $1,000,
And they're going to, because starting off brand new PCs are around $1,000 right now, anyways.
a decent PC is around $1,500.
You get a decent one, but you can get like a starter one for around 1,000 brand new.
Yeah, but that, I mean, $700 or $800, you can get a 5600G with no graphics card and 16 gigs of RAM for like $700.
But nobody's going to game on that.
No, see, but the point is, it's there. There's some people that don't know they're going to end up buying it anyway because they think it's a good deal. So
the majority of people that buy consoles have no idea how they work. So they're just going to they're going to be like, oh, look, it plays all my Steam games. Great. That's where my library is. I'm going to get that. That's it. They'll plug it into their TV like usual, and they'll just game on it, you know?
yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
See what Mr. Fake Frames put out there? He says his $2,000 PC he built has a 5070 Ti and a 7800 X3D with 2 terabytes Gen 4 SSDs.
It's not worth 2,000 anymore.
Nope. It's a lot higher now.
Higher now.
So, let's see. My RTX 4070 PC with a B850-P motherboard, 32 gigs of 6000 CL28 RAM, 16 terabytes of hard drive space. Sick amount. I don't know. $1,250, maybe $1,300. But it's still games like everybody else's. See, I don't need a big ass graphics card to prove that my system works. I don't need 16 gigs to play the games I play. So, I really don't need a lot of horsepower. Because the combination of the system that I put together and the addition that Mr. Machine added on, and we thank you for that, now pushed me up to a 9700X. It's not a bad system. So I can't complain. Even though I'm running the RX 7600 in the same system here, it's still, I'm doing AV1 encoding right now, live streaming. Same thing that the 4070 does. And this is an AMD graphics card, not an NVIDIA graphics card. So, and it's running the same way. Temperature wise, running the same as my 4070. Can you figure that one out, machine? I got a 12 gigabyte card sitting on the shelf, while an 8 gigabyte card is doing the same thing my 12 gigabyte card does. But the 12 gigabyte card's a lot more powerful when it comes to gaming. So it does the same thing. Yep. Of course. I mean, I'm not disappointed with the 9700X. Machine, are you disappointed with the 9700X?
It's worked great for everything I needed to do.
And you got the 5070 Ti as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, I can't beat that. And he's got now a 4K monitor on top of that.
Yep.
He upgraded from 1440p to 4K. That's a good deal. And right now he's gaming on a what? What are you gaming on? Tell everybody what you're doing over there.
Well, I sold my other 9060 XT because it got too hot, so I got another one at a decent price, considering what everything's at right now. So I got a 9060 50 gigabyte CFX Mercury.
You got the Mercury, XFX Mercury. Is that the one with the removable fans?
$9 4 times.
Is that the one with the removable fans?
No, that's the magnetic air ones.
Oh, that's the magnetic air.
Yeah.
So far, well,
my GPU temperature, my VRAM temperature has not gone over 60 C.
oh, so you're sitting steady at 60 C.
It's at 56 right now while I'm running benchmark.
That's not bad.
The hot spots is 58 C, and the GPU temperature is 44 C.
Did you ever put the cover back on that?
Nope, it's running.
You ought to put the cover back on and see what you get then. That's what I would do. That'd be the next step, is to see what you get then. You had the cover off for all this time, then you should put the cover back on and see what you really get. Get the total heat of the system and see what it actually does for that card. And if your temperatures rise because of that, then maybe it'd be better for you to leave the cover off. Just as long as your motherboard is not screaming hot. Make sure you go to HW Info and look at your motherboard chips, your VRMs and all that, to see if they're screaming hot. Having that off. So you'll know if it's a good thing to leave it off or it's a bad thing.
Okay.
I'm just throwing that out there to you. There's two ways. There's 2 ways to Sunday to test that. And once you get MSI Afterburner, the overlay set up, you should test it with the cover off and then test it again with the cover on. That'd be a good video for you.
Yeah. Once I figure out.
You'll get it. I'm sure you're going to be asking me a bunch of questions, and we'll get you in the right direction. So it's not a big deal. It'll take 2 hours of your time. That means no gaming. That means just to do a complete resetup of what you're trying to do. Because I want your concentration there. You know what I mean? So it takes a little time to set things up, and after you get it done and you get everything working in your favor, then you can make videos all day long and not have a problem. Who knows? They might take off so good that you're like boom, 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 making video after video. Then I have to catch up with you in the videos. Right now, guys, I am trying to get to 1,000 videos. But here's the thing. On my other 2 channels that I do currently have, I had like 200 and something on one of them, and I had like 12 or 13 on the other. I did break over 1,000 videos, but here's what happened. YouTube said to me I had to remove the videos because they know that those other channels are mine. And it was this kind of a problem with the videos. So I removed all the old videos off of my other channels. But I replaced them with new videos. And I started little at a time just working on one video here or there for those other channels. In the meantime, because I want to keep my main focus on my main channel. Those channels are just extras. I'm just putting extra stuff out on those channels. That's all I'm doing. They're not going to be monetized channels. The only monetized channel I have is this one right here. JJ's PC Builds. The other ones are non-monetized channels. I'm not going to monetize them. So if y'all want to go to them, all you got to do is go to my main YouTube page. It'll be right there. You can go and subscribe to those as well. One of them's got 200 and something subscribers on it already. That means I can do live streams on it. That's for this. That's used for this right here. So I'm still working on how to balance that out. See, I still need to get everything I need for production, to make the live streams if I'm on the go. Just saying, kind of drifting off subject for a couple minutes because people are wondering what's going on with the other channels, so I had to put that out there. But they're not dead. I'll tell you that. They are not dead channels. They're going to be a little bit better as time goes on. And be even more better when this channel here grows and it gets, I'm praying to God it gets at least to 100,000 subscribers. At least. But we're still working on the 1,000 subscriber mark. And when we get to 1,000 subscribers, then we'll work on to the next mark. 10,000 subscribers. Then 50,000. Then 100,000. Then 1,000,000. I always got 1,000,000 in my mind. I got 1,000,000 subscribers in my mind. I would like to hit 1,000,000 subscribers before I perish. Does that make sense, Machine? Before I perish, I would like to make 1,000,000 subscribers. Before I'm in a pine box, I would like to make 1,000,000 subscribers. You never know, man. There might be somebody out there that says, okay, well, time to get the word out, time to get his channel. I mean, look what they did at the halftime for Super Bowl. 25 million views. Kid Rock rocked the house for halftime on Super Bowl night. 25 million views.
And he wasn't even at the Super Bowl.
And he was, yeah, exactly. He was not even at the Super Bowl. He rocked that, bro. Hardcore. Shout out to Turning Point USA for rocking that. That was, I'd seen part of the video. I didn't get a chance to see all of it, but I seen part of it. It looked really good. I mean, seriously, they rocked that. So, just saying. And that was not politics, my friends. That had nothing to do with it. That was the Super Bowl and football. Nothing to do with politics. Just putting that out there now. So, what do you think, Machine? Have I tortured everybody enough tonight?
Yep.
So, changing the subject now. Everybody was sitting there wondering, Jay, why did you switch Saturday live stream at 8 p.m. to Wednesday 6 p.m.? Well, at Wednesday 6 p.m. was more convenient to a lot of people, supposedly, that were able to come and, be on part of the show. I'm still working to get them to come back to the show. So, I'm still working on that part. So, every week, and guys, I'm done changing my mind. Wednesday is locked in at 6 p.m., period. Saturdays, I'm going to make videos for. Wednesday is locked in solid, period. I'm not going to change it. 6 p.m. is locked in. Unless I have some kind of emergency here. And I'm going to put that stipulation out there. That's the only way that you're not going to see the Wednesday show. But the Wednesday show will be locked in at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's California time. Sorry, guys, I have to go by California time. There's nothing I can do. I mean, that's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mountain Time is 7 or 8. So, yeah. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Embarrassing moment, but anyway. I wanted everybody to be a part of the show, guys. I wanted you guys to be here, being able to spend that couple hours. That's the reason why I changed it, because I felt it wasn't really going on Saturday. That's the reason why I moved it to Wednesday. So the rest of the week, I can throw out a video, try to throw out one video a day. So that's 7 videos a week. Until, the channel gets big enough to where I can afford to bring in a second editor to help me edit the videos. And then I can start doing 2 to 3 videos a day. Then you guys will be saying, Jay, you're spamming videos. I really don't want that to happen. But this gives me a chance that the 3 videos that I make a day, I can put it up 1 video here, 1 video on my other channel, and 1 video on my other channel. So I could do 3 videos a day, for 1 for each channel. You guys would just have to keep up. That's the whole thing. So when it gets to that time and I start getting it to like that, then yeah. But don't worry. I'll make sure I leave you guys a notice of what channel is getting them? Well, all the channels are going to be getting one video a day. That's what I'm hoping for. My goal is. Now, the other two channels, my one that's got least amount of subscribers, that's not going to be a live channel. That's just going to be strictly just putting gaming on there. The other one, I can do on the road live with this, or get some kind of camera set up to where it links to my phone and I can do it live. I have to figure all that out. So that'll come time to get me more equipment. See, I can't get none of this equipment right now because this is all Jay does right here. Works here. Building the videos and everything else. Trying to get more equipment. But I finally realized that I can't do it by myself. I finally realized that I have to be the bigger person. And if I need help, I should ask for it. So, let's hope, you know. I just throw everybody 100s. That's me doing the 100s. I threw that in there for y'all. So, Machine, do you got anything else you want to add there, my friend?
Nope.
You don't want to tell everybody how you're doing on your 4K monitor?
It's
Is it working for you?
Yeah, it's great. It's definitely worth the money I paid for it.
Wow. I'll tell you what I did, though. This 4K monitor. I couldn't handle it. I put the desktop at 1080p, guys. I'm sorry, I could not handle it being 1440p or 4K. I could not. Even at 1080p, it looks good. A 4K monitor at 1080p, I know, just shoot the moon at me. Right, Machine? You're going to say, whoa, why you got your desktop at 1080p? But it looks good. That's the whole idea. It looks 100 times better than using that old monitor I used to have. Well, actually, it's a smart TV. And it replaced what I had. Because it was going out. So, it was on its way out. On its way out. So, we explored what Xbox does, what Xbox is offering in 2026. We've seen how Valve's Steam Machine fits into the PC console hybrid space. We talked about performance expectation, game libraries, and upgrade paths. But there might not be an upgrade path to either one. So comes time, either the Xbox or the Steam box, there might not be an upgrade path for either one. We don't know. Let's hope there is, because that would be, kind of a good thing for everybody. So what do you think is going to... Now, this is the last question I'm going to ask you guys for the evening. Which platform gives you more freedom as a gamer? And of course, your opinion in the live chat matters. So, that's the question. Which platform gives you more freedom as a gamer? What are your expectations going to be for these two platforms? Which one do you think is going to be a better expectation? Is the Xbox, the new Xbox, going to be that better expectation? Or is the Steam machine in your wheelhouse? We all know it depends on the price. We all know this. So, what's going to make it better in you guys' wheelhouse? That's going to be the question. What are you going to be able to afford when the time comes? That's another question. How high is the prices going to be by the time they get ready to launch? That's even going to be more of a factor. So I just want you guys to keep this in mind before you purchase any of this. Before you purchase any of this, to keep all those factors in mind. Because I hate to see people spend their money for something that's totally worthless. And I don't want to see you guys do that and spend your money on something that's worthless. Because if I wouldn't do it, I'm sure you guys shouldn't do it neither. But that's your choice. I'm not taking the choice away from you. I'm giving you a good aspect of what to expect when time comes. Is that wrong for me to say that, Machine?
I mean, we won't know for sure what's going to happen until we get the official announcements from Steam and Xbox in place. So
right,
it's all conjecture right now.
Yeah, but we're talking about it. That's the whole idea. We're talking about it and we're thinking about it, and what's going to happen next should be on the table. It should be something that we should not push off to the side of the table. It should be right on front and center of the table, because they're offering something that we can't touch. They still haven't put out there that I've seen. You guys probably might have seen it, but they didn't put anything out there about the VR glasses for the Steam machine. They didn't put anything out there about the controllers or anything that goes with the Steam box. They didn't put nothing out there about it, if it's going to come with something or it doesn't. Some people say it's going to come with one controller. If you're going to sell me something for $1,000, it better come up with the keyboard, a mouse, a controller. It better come with the VR glasses, the whole 900 yards for $1,000.
With the price of hardware right now, just don't see it.
Then they ain't going to have much of a sale. Because once the word gets out that they're not selling it with anything, people are not going to buy it. Then they're going to be sitting on hundreds or maybe thousands of these machines, and they can't sell them. Am I wrong?
No, I don't know. I would caution in the like everything's going to just be more expensive.
Look, if they tell us it has the ability of a regular desktop PC, then it better have the ability of a keyboard and mouse. It better come with it. And if it has the ability to game on Steam, then it better have a controller. What if I don't have a monitor? What am I going to do?
Plug it into your TV.
No. What if you don't have a TV, period?
Well, you probably don't even console then. Most people that have consoles have TVs.
Yeah, but I know some people that don't have TVs. They just got VR glasses.
It might hook up to other ones. I don't know.
Well, it's something to think about. What if they don't got TVs and they just run VR? Do you need a TV to run VR?
No.
No, you don't. So it's something to think about.
Yeah, VR glasses are expensive.
Yeah.
cheaper to get TV.
So if you're going to give me a shitty box, then you better give me a good VR glasses. You agree with that? You give me a shitty $400 box, then you better give me the rest of the stuff to go along with it to make up that $1,000.
Yeah, but it's my thing is with the cost of RAM, it's not $400 anymore. It's twice that much, just because of the RAM.
Bro, the chips are still $5 a chip.
That's how much they cost us to get it.
Yeah.
So we can get the same RAM as the Steam machine has for $5 a chip.
Yep.
No, we can't.
Yes, you can.
Where?
You can buy them out of China.
Yeah,
all day long. Go ask Northwest Repair. He pays only $5 a chip.
He gets the China chips.
Yep.
What about the cost of shipping and all that?
Nope. Because they ship it over to the United States and put it in warehouses. They got warehouses full of chips. They just can't sell. They can't sell them to the big companies right now because they have a ban on it. Doesn't mean they can't sell it to the consumer.
Right.
So there it is. Why do you think he charges $120 to replace all the chips on a graphics card? If those chips were more than $5 a piece, he would never do that because of how many chips are on that board. He can replace one or he can replace them all. Do you think he has that kind of money to replace it all and take a loss? He's not in the business for loss, brother.
I understand.
So I go by what I know and what a lot of people don't realize is you can still buy the chips for cheap. Depends on where you buy them from. He buys all his shit from China. He's already said that. So, and believe it or not, he never has any problems. Only has problems with people that have burned up PCBs. You know, the unintailable, the unrepairable kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only ones that have the problems, and then they have to go buy another PCB so he can transfer everything onto the new PCB. And once he does that, it's all good. Those never come back. So I think that, you know, with that and looking at, you know, VRAM chips that he gets, you know, he gets decent ones. But he doesn't pay that high cost. So there's something he knows that we don't know. But there's something I know that he knows that we don't, that everybody else didn't know. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like I said, until the price of those chips go from $5 to $9, it's just sitting steady right now. And if you got to pay $10 a chip, then, you know, replacing 8 chips, that's $80. So doing a $120 repair goes into $220 repair. But is the GPU worth $220? Unless it's a high end or mid range, yeah. That just means you spent for the price you paid for it, on top of spending a couple more $100 to get it repaired. You'd have been better off to just buy something brand new out of the box at that point. So, but people do get their GPUs repaired. They do get the GPUs repaired. They turn around, they go on eBay, they buy the ones that say they're for parts. They turn around, they buy that, they buy another PCB just in case something's wrong with the PCB, and then they ship it over there to Northwest Repair, and he puts it all together and says, "Here you go. Here's your brand new card." As long as the GPU die is not blowing up, he'll throw you together a whole new card, and he's not expensive. So shout out to Northwest Repair, by the way. I put shouts out to different reviewers, especially when they do good things on their side. And I know all the people watching this are going to say, well, but I've watched his videos. I put likes on him. He does a good job. He deserves a like. He deserves getting subscribers too because he works hard at what he does. He figures out the most complicated shit that nobody else will figure out. Complicated stuff. So, he's a good guy. Even though he hasn't repaired one of my GPUs yet, he's still a good guy. I've watched his videos. He's pretty good. Yes, even me being a reviewer, I do watch other reviewers when they do good on their videos. And he's one that does really good. The cat thing, I really like the cat thing. The cat thing was pretty cool. Cat thing with the flute and the other one with the keyboard. And I thought that was pretty good imagination, I think. Him throwing different faces in there, that was pretty good. That's pretty good B-roll. I got to start doing that too. I got to start throwing some of that wild B-roll in there too. We'll do it. We'll figure it out. We'll just have to go around shopping for emojis and all that. Wild emojis and all that. So we'll figure it out sooner or later. Hey, I already figured out. Oh, another thing. The past couple weeks, I've been doing my videos with my face on it. Okay, here's the kicker. I was having AI. I know that big word, artificial intelligence. I was having it take my picture, repurposing it for a thumbnail to see if it can make my face right. And so far, the answer is only one time. One time I got it right. Just one time. Out of how many videos I made with using my face. I know you guys seen like it looked like there's different people on my my thumbnails. No, they're actually me. Just 40 different iterations of me. How AI saw the way I looked. 40, was it 40 times? No, 30, no. I can't remember how many times. But it's a test. If you see the thumbnail looking similar to me, but it doesn't look like me, it's doing another test. I am testing and showing you guys the progress on AI generated thumbnails. That's what I'm trying to show you guys. So don't think it's creepy. I know one person that thinks it's creepy. Don't think it's creepy because you see the different iterations of me. I'm trying to see if this AI is trainable to get me precisely, my face precisely to the correct picture. So I've been doing testing, and I would really want to keep doing the testing to see if they're going to get it right. So just to let you guys know, if you see my thumbnail, don't freak out. It's being tested. I want to see how far this testing is going to go. I want to see if it can precisely get my face correct. So in the midst of all this, you guys are going along on an extra journey that you just didn't realize yet. So I'm letting you know this today on this live stream. I'm working on that. I'm trying to get it precise, and I'm trying to get it molded in the way I want things done. So wish me luck on that. Since everybody's talking about AI this, AI that, why not have an AI regenerate my face and regenerate me the thumbnail I'm asking it to do? Why not? The thumbnail for this video tonight was made by me, but generated by AI. Make sense, machine?
Yep.
It went by my specifications and made me what I asked for. I'm tired, and guys, understand this. I am tired of going to these sites. They want $20, $50 a month just to make a generated AI picture. Why the hell am I going to do that when I have a whole operating system that gives you free reign on it? Why am I going to look at other programs when, I can work on the one I have? And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm retraining the program to work like I want it to. So when it gets there, it will be spectacular. So I'm turning AI into a useful tool. Am I wrong for doing this, machine?
Well, you're utilizing what you got.
I'm utilizing the software that was given to me, a part of the operating system. I'm using a lot of the Microsoft operating system software. I mean, they have Microsoft Clipchamp. I use that too. I don't use the Adobe. I'm not using DaVinci. I know Microsoft charges for 4K, but if I'm doing the videos in 4K and repurposing them back into 1080p, it's still going to make the 1080p look a lot sharper. Now, a lot of people are going to notice between running it on 480 on their phone or 360 or 390 or whatever, and 1080p they're looking on their computer, they're not going to notice the difference. So, makes it sharper, makes it look better, and also, too, doesn't eat up a lot of bandwidth. That's another thing I have to look at. The amount of bandwidth that I'm using. Especially live streaming. I have to do that in 1080p. Because if I hit the live stream running 4K, eats up too much bandwidth, and guess what? My router can't handle it because I only get a certain amount of bandwidth here to use it for live streaming at 1080p. Not every one of us has $1 million in our pocket. So we got to go by the cards that were dealt. I'm just bringing that point clear to everybody. Not everybody has $1 million in their pocket. Machine doesn't. I don't. So a lot of the people that I know don't. So we make good with what we have. And that's exactly what I've been doing the whole time. For the last almost 4 years on this channel, I was making good with the tools that I had in hand. To make these videos, to make these live streams, it's only the tools I have in hand. Yes, I have a lot of different things I can test. And there's a lot of things I really want to test. There's really a lot. I really want to have at least one of each graphic card that was made all the way from the 10 series to the 50 series on NVIDIA. And for AMD, everything that went down to well, I'm not going to push it past this. I could say the 500 series all the way up to the 9000 series. Would be nice to have one of each. But see, that's talking about millions of dollars to do all that. Not everybody has $1 million. Being a reviewer, I don't have $1 million. It'd be nice, but I don't. So, Dr. Blitz, good to see you once again, my friend. 90s or bust. Gotcha. So, yep, you're right. 90s or bust. Not everybody can afford a 90 card. Machine, can you afford a 90s card?
A 90s card?
Yeah.
Card from the 1990s? Yeah, sure.
No. 90 series card.
A 90 series card, like a 5090?
Yeah.
I could, but I don't want one.
See, there you go. See, you got to remember, me and Machine, we're on the 70s crowd. I like the 60s, I like the 70s. I don't like the 80s, and I don't like the 90s. Especially the power connector. They suck. Now, for my 70 series, and I'm going to say this again. For my 70 series card, there's the power connector. 1 8-pin connector. There. Now you guys can see it. 1 8-pin connector. Ain't that some shite? Did I say shite? I meant shit. Whatever. So, now you see my 4070 with 1 8-pin connector. Has it burned up yet? No. Ever since I purchased the card, it's been running like a mad person. So, the 1990s are bust. Oh, okay, I got you. You're a 90s kind of guy. Well, actually, I'm a 80s kind of guy. It's 80s or bust. I believe in 1980s or bust. Even though I grew up in the 70s, 70s weren't too bad. But I still like the 80s better. Better than the 90s, believe it or not. So, that's just my opinion. What do you think, Machine? Were the 70s better, 80s or 90s?
think the 90s were pretty good. I picked the 90s.
Oh, why not the 80s?
Because I was bullied a lot when I was a kid. Yep. So I didn't like the 80s very much.
I never spoiled.
No, I was bullied. I was bullied a lot.
Yeah, don't feel bad.
I don't.
Until they learned my big size, didn't take no more of their shit. I was almost 6 foot in middle school. Just to tell you that. I didn't take nobody's shit. But I was not cruel neither. I was not a mean person to other people when it comes to school. Some of the kids, the frail kids that got picked on so much, they had to sit at my table. Because I told them to. When it come to lunchtime, you get them big old bullies that would come around. The one mistake they ever did was sit at my table. The bullies. I stood up. I looked down at them. And I said, you got about 3 seconds to get the fuck off my table. The only ones that come here are the ones that I choose. That's the only ones coming to my table. And bullies don't sit at my table. They sit at the little girls' tables. So, that was nice. So, let's change the subject again. Since we're talking about bullies in the lunchroom, how many of you all been bullied in the lunchroom? How many of y'all had to wear your own lunch? Have you ever had to wear your lunch there, Machine?
No. I got hit a lot younger. That was my issue.
Well,
Yep. These were kind of interesting for me, to say the least.
I got you. So we're not getting too much answers in this chat here. You guys must be sleeping on us. You think they're sleeping, Machine? They're sleeping on the channel?
Yep.
They're falling asleep on us?
Yep.
I think that's what's happening. They're falling asleep on us and they're not telling us anything. Come on, guys, got to kick it up. It's the reason why we're having the live stream. It's to help you all out, even though we're talking about dumb stuff at the end of the stream, but it's fun. We all don't like to be bullied in the lunchroom. We all don't like none of that. We like calm, collective, sit back and relax kind of things. You like to enjoy your lunch. The only thing I liked about the lunch in high school was the pizza. That pizza had so much spice on it, it was just right. I just said, sorry, man. I don't have any change. And keep on walking. Oh, my God. Man. I was the kind of guy that never liked to see kids get bullied. You know that, Machine? I never liked to see that.
What? See what?
other kids get bullied.
It's not that. I mean, it happens.
I mean, they tried to bully me one time. That's when they learned that one time.
Yeah, I didn't know how to stand up for myself back then.
Oh, I did. They didn't like me very well. Especially when I was weight training. No, they didn't like me very well. But they wanted to be my friend, though. I was like, you need to change your ways. You want to be my friend. You need to change your ways. So it took me a couple weeks, but those bullies, they kind of changed their ways. Because they were jocks. Football jocks. And they thought it was pretty funny to bully everybody around. Not until we met them in the weight room for weightlifting. Me and the two biggest black guys that were standing right beside me. My friends, my homies. When we're sitting there pushing with our legs 3,200 pounds. My homies. When we're sitting there bench pressing 600 pounds. My homies. Those football jocks went this big, this quick. So, like I said, I thought it was funny. So, you think I talked enough there, Mr. Machine?
Well, it's up to you.
I don't know. You guys think I talked enough, or you guys want me to go another round? I don't want you guys to sit here and be bored. You know, if you're bored, then we can cut the live stream right now. If you're bored. Well, we're gonna have to anyway. My feet are swelling up. I feel like a pregnant old lady. That's what happens when you get old. Your feet swell up like a pregnant old lady. And then you got to go drain the lizard. I know you heard that before, drain the lizard. So, you want to say anything to him before we go, Mr. Machine?
Thanks for coming on. It's a good discussion.
It's kind of off topic a little bit tonight, but, you know, it did work. What do you think? So, all right, guys, we're going to jump out of here because I got to drain my feet. It's like I got to screw on a tap, go drain my feet. So, but anyway, if you've had fun and you had this emotional moment that we all were having, make sure you hit the subscribe button. You really can help the channel out. So until the next time, in the next live stream or video, we'll see you on the next one. Have a great evening, guys. Stay safe. We'll see you next week or on the next video or live stream. So.